I asked you to put together for us your, not, I wouldn't say recommendations, but from your research for the book and from your own experience, what would you say are your top 3 romantic spots and your perfect first date? And what about a blind date? So if you'd like to share with us.
I will do that right now. So these are my 3 romantic spots that I picked, all of which are in the book. I will note. The Louvre is obviously the big one up there, top left. The Louvre courtyard at night is just so stunningly beautiful. During the day, there's too many people. It's not super romantic, but at night, to just walk through there and soak up the beauty of that building when it's all lit up in the evening, I think is just to die for. And one of the later chapters in the book is called A Night at the Louvre, which takes place in the museum. So yeah, definitely the Louvre. The other one there, Pont Neuf, that is the oldest bridge in Paris. It is the scene of one of the characters' first kiss. Austin is the main character in the book, and a guy, they kiss for the first time on Pont Neuf, which is, I think, very romantic. First bridge in Paris. And the last one that I picked is a rooftop bar that's called Le Perchoir du Marais. There's actually several perchoirs around Paris, but I think there's something, I'm a sucker for the city lit up at night. And so rooftop bars were definitely not a thing some years ago in Paris, but they're popping up more and more. And this one is right over the Place de l'Hôtel de Ville. So there's that, the Hôtel de Ville is the mayor's office, for lack of a better comparative, in Paris. And it's a beautiful building. And that you can see the Eiffel Tower in the back with the spotlight circling around. And I think that bar looking out over that beautiful building and seeing the Eiffel Tower, I think that's pretty romantic too. So those were my 3 picks for this question. The next question was about, let's see if I can advance these slides. Here we go. Best first date. So I did 2. I did a budget version and a money is not an object version.
Great. Yes.
So this budget date option, I would think would be cool was to start in Luxembourg Gardens. It is a huge, beautiful, wonderful garden on the left bank. Walking around there, this picture is like the little boats that are floating, and there's actually kids that like rent the boats and push them around with the little stick, and it's all very Parisian. So I think walking through there is lovely, and then wandering up toward the Seine, walking down the Seine. Sylvia mentioned walking down the Seine. There's a lot of just romance in that. And I don't know if you can see, but those are my friend's legs there in the bottom right-hand corner of that picture. These are all actually photos that I've taken. I put my Instagram handle down there in the bottom because
they're absolutely gorgeous, your photos.
Thank you. But I've been using these pictures to kind of illustrate some of the key themes and places from the book. Anyway, so if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, there's the handle. But this one is it was a summer picnic, just sitting on the banks of the Seine, drinking some rosé, eating some cheese and some baguette. That's always a good choice, very affordable. And then the last one picture that I put is actually a restaurant called Freddy's, which I love. That's a little tapas bar. It's like small plates. It's excellent food. It's super high quality, great wines, and a nice place to just pop in. You sit at the bar. It's full of people. You can't make reservations, but it feels very spontaneous. You just pop in when you are hungry and have some little nibbles there. So that's my budget date option. I think good places all. And then if you are going big, I put in a few others, which is Septime is this like to die for restaurant in Paris. It was just recently named by, I think, Time Out or Paris, some magazine about one of the best restaurants in Paris. So lunch at Septime, then a little shopping at Le Bon Marché. The picture that I picked is from Christmas time a few years ago. They always have some kind of crazy art installation happening in Le Bon Marché. It's like one of the high-end shopping malls, but it's like beautiful stuff. And just to go in there to see the art, even if you don't want to buy anything, is always nice. So a little like spin around the Bon Marché. And then the last picture there is a restaurant called Gigi this is the terrace there. Again, beautiful view of the Eiffel Tower. It's very like people from Hollywood kind of come and drop in there. It's and French actors. It's a very kind of seen be seen, swanky place, but very good. So here's
That looks like a dream.
dreamy places, all of those. And then for blind dates, which was the last question, you know, what would you do? What would I recommend? I mean, I think any cafe, I'll start in the middle. Any cafe is fair game, because I think when you are meeting someone you don't know, the place to avoid is your place or their place. And just to be out in public. And there's a million cafes that are all amazing. So I go any cafe, any museum. The one on the right there, that's the Musée d'Orsay. I think it's, you know, amazing place, the architecture alone, and not to mention all the art. But just a museum date is always a good safe start, because again, surrounded by lots of people. And then the last one that's on the left I'll mention is Rosebud. So this was a cafe, or a bar rather, that was near my old apartment where I lived before. And it was my go-to place for dates, for first dates. And I think the bartender thought I was nuts because I was like in there with a different guy all the time. But at least, and he was always looking at me a little judgy, but he knew me. And so it was a place of comfort for me, where I knew someone knew me. I felt like, it's like Cheers, you know, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Like it's good to have a go-to spot where you feel like you're, you know, in your milieu. And that one was mine, Rosebud in the 14th. So those are my recommendations.
Excellent recommendations. Thank you so much for sharing that, Whitney. And Arlene would like to know what arrondissement is Freddy's in.
Freddy's is in the 6th. It's on Rue du Seine. It's really cool.
Yes, and it's a good idea that it's less formal than a dinner, so you can pop in whenever.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Be able to
you
kind
don't
of
have
go with
to
the flow.
make a reservation. Yes, excellent.